So, my name's Marty, and I'm the youngest of the Sleigh kids. And I'm 50, almost 51 now, and the memories that have been coming to me the last few weeks are of a tiny little girl who thought her dad was the cat's meow. So.
As he did you.
I remember the excitement I felt when Dad returned home from work. Even as a tiny young girl, I knew what the clock on the stove was supposed to look like when he should arrive. The window next to the front door went down almost to the floor, so I could easily see out with my forehead pressed against the cold glass. There I would wait, giddy with excitement. His red truck would pull in, and as I ran out to greet him, he would squat down, suit jacket swinging open, and scoop me up and say, "Oh, girlfriend!" On Saturdays, the standard fare of activity was puttering around the yard. Dad could be found coming and going from the garage for tools and such, while I would be free to roller skate, ride bikes, visit Grandma next door, and generally fart around all day. Periodically, I would visit Dad. I'd go on a hunt to find him, see what he's up to, catch a ride in the wheelbarrow, and no doubt generally slow him down a bit. At the close of the day, I would find him on the front porch, sweaty, dirty, and enjoying a cold beer. The smell of cold beer came to symbolize the completion of a hard day's work.
As it should.
I never refused an offer to go to the dump or a trip to Jayhawks with Dad. One of our favorite 8-track cassettes we'd listen to in his truck was Little Jimmy Dickens. I found the dump fascinating and was small enough I would stand on the seat so I could watch all the goings-on. From the parking lot at Jayhawks, we walked hand in hand, skipping, singing, or talking about something or other. Once in the store, we would always race in the first few aisles. I would take one aisle and Dad the next. The aisle breaks were a chance for Dad to make a funny face or dance and slow me down with laughter. It looked like he was gliding one large step for every 10 tiny steps of mine. Most Jayhawk trips, he would sneak in our favorite candy bar at the register. Uno bars were our unique favorite for quite a while, although he always had a giant Hershey bar stashed in his closet. At church, I recall being small enough to stand between his legs as he was seated in the pew, his arms wrapped around me. We made up silent games and hand gestures that helped me get through Mass. Sunday nights, we headed to Grandma Sleigh and Papa Joe's house. I was seated between Mom and Dad in the front seat. Right about the time we turned left off of 410, I would lay my head on his lap and watch the power lines go by. With the gentle swag of the power lines, they seemed to go slow and fast as we made our way to South Prairie. We'd have a wonderful evening of tea, cake, card games, watching the Wild Kingdom and the Lawrence Welk show. When we returned home, Dad would, of course, carry me inside. Dad was the one who most often tucked me in. It was always a tight tuck-in, not a sloppy job. If I had a cold, he would lather my chest with a good layer of Vicks vapor rub and then safety pin a cloth to the inside of my pajama top. When he kissed me goodnight, it was preceded by a rub on the face with his day-long stubble. This led to shrieks and giggles just before saying goodnight. As he moved to the next bedroom, I could hear the same shrieks and giggles coming from the others. A colleague of Dad's described a troubled student who visited the principal's office on numerous occasions. Dad was that principal, and in an attempt to give the boy a positive reason to visit him, Dad introduced this student to yodeling. I am certain that went yodel-lady, ay-de-o-lady, ay-o-lady, ay-o-lady.
Woo!
It was clear that Mom and Dad loved each other.
Hang on. Big breath.
You got this, Marty.
Doing well.
You're doing awesome.
At lodge parties, weddings, anniversaries, and holidays, it was refreshing and reassuring for my young self to watch them dance.
You bet. It was fun. That was the best part.
At least once during those evenings, I would catch Dad's eye from across the room. He'd have that twinkle in his eye, he'd flap his arms,
Yes.
take his step a little, and He wanted me to know that he thought I was the cat's meow too. I am thankful my sisters called me home at the right time just a few weeks ago. I consider it an honor to have been with Dad the last week of his life. Mom was truly amazing during that difficult time. She was strong and she was tender with him. I will forever be one of the lucky ones that can call Deryl Sleigh Dad.
Yay.